Hi everyone there in video land. This is Father Mark Davis, and on behalf of all of us at St. Patrick's of Heatherdowns Church, happy Feast of St. Joseph. St. Joseph is always pictured with a lily. Lily is a sign of purity, and it represents certainly, his chaste marriage to Mary, but also just that his heart was pure and open so he could say yes to God with all the crazy things that God asked him to do. He obviously didn't expect Mary to be pregnant before they lived together. He didn't expect Mary to be able to have the Son of God. But it was predicted, wasn't it? In the first reading today, it all talked about, Joseph's line and David's line being the one that produces the Messiah. The readings are all over it, and the Old Testament predictions that the Messiah would come through David's line and through Joseph. This is all a plan. Everything he went through, having to be able to take Mary to go to Egypt after the birth, all that he did was being able to do what he didn't want to do and didn't expect to do, and trusting that God had a plan, and in the end, he's going to be closer to God and that God will work it out. I think that's a really good analogy for us today. We don't know what's going to happen, and it's scary. It's scary financially. It's scary health-wise, because this virus has a 2-week period. We don't know if we're going to get sick or not, but God is with us, right? And the more that we have our hearts pure, we'll be able to feel God's presence, and he'll get us through, and he'll trust. We need to trust in God like St. Joseph did, and we can ask for his intercession. By the way, if you recognize this, yes, this is the St. Joseph that is usually in the Nativity. I thought it would be good to borrow him for today. But what's the message for us? What's this mean for us? Well, think about St. Joseph. He was in the background. We didn't hear a lot, but think he was married to a woman without sin, and he raised the Son of God. And although Jesus was purely divine, he was also purely human. He was totally human. So Joseph had to model the Jewish faith for Jesus. He had to model, that acceptance, and he drew out and developed, right, the divinity in Jesus. And that's what each one of us are called to do. That's what parents do. That's what grandparents do. That's what children do. We're supposed to draw out the divinity in each other. There's an old story about a monastery. I don't know if it was the Middle Ages or sometime, and they were starting to be sharp with one another, right? And they were just really, really at a very tense and bad time. And they sent for a great spiritual person who was wandering around and came to the monastery. And the second night, he got all of the monks together, and he said to them, because he was a very, very holy man, and he said to them, I tell you this, brothers, there is a secret here. One of you is the Messiah. And they're thinking, seriously? The Messiah is here? Who is it? Is it Brother John, who's the baker? Is it Brother Joe, who's the cook? Is it Brother Timothy, who opens the door? Who is it? Is it the abbot? Who is it? And what they did, they started to look at one another differently. They started to look for the divine. Is this the Messiah? I see all this evidence. And that was a way, by looking for evidence of the divine in each of the brothers, they actually brought it out in them and could see it. I urge you today, and maybe tomorrow at least, as we continue in this Lenten time, and we're spending less time in public and more time with our families and our friends in small groups, let us look for the divine. Let's say, is this person the Messiah? Let's look for it. Let's find it. Let's bring it out in each other. And let's maybe call someone who's homebound to bring out the divine in them. We will continue to post masses every single day on the website and our YouTube channel. We will also not only have 8:45 Mass every day, Monday through Friday, we'll have the 4:30 Mass and the 9:30 on Sunday, and the special presentation of the 5:30 Mass. God bless you all. Happy St. Joseph's Day, And like Joseph, let us trust whatever happens, knowing that God's in charge and he'll bring us through. God bless.